This is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, today's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Thursday the 18th of March. Jumping into Bitcoin against the US dollar in the hourly candlesticks, bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 57,326 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 60,651. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 60,000 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 61,000 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended breakout, second major resistance level sits at 62,453. We do have resistance at the swing high 61,699 from last Sunday to test Bitcoin, however. A fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 55,524 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should still clear a sub 55,000 level. Second major support level sits at 52,199. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bearish morning ahead, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, it's a bullish indicator, however. We're seeing the 50 pull away from the 200 and close in on the 100. Suggesting further upside ahead, so keep an eye out for a possible bullish cross through the morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 57,326 and break out from the morning high 59,475 through to 60,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Ethereum against US dollar, slightly bearish start to the morning. Going to need to Ethereum avoid the pivot at 1803 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 1863. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from 1850 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Ethereum target 1950 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1902. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1764 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 1700s. Second major support level at 1704 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a slight narrowing of the bullish histogram supporting the early pullback. On the EMAs, however, the 50 has pulled away further from the 200 and narrowed on the 100, suggesting further upside ahead. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 1803 and break back through to 1850 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also slightly bearish this morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 202 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 211. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from this morning's high 207.73. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, could see Litecoin target 220 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 215. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 198 and the 23.6% fib at 195 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of 190. Second major support level at 190 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histograms supporting the slight pullback this morning. On the EMAs, however, the 50 has narrowed the gap marginally on the 100 and the 200. So nothing conclusive there in terms of a bullish morning ahead. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 202, break out from this morning's high 207.73 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also slightly bearish this morning. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move back through the pivot at 0.4687 to bring the first major resistance level at 0.4834 into play. We'll need support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.48 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 0.4820 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ripple's XRP target 0.5s before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.4967. Failure to move back through the pivot would bring the 38.2% fib at 0.4632 and the first major support level at 0.4554 into play. buying and extended sell-off on the day. Ripple's XRP should stay clear of sub 0.45s. Second major support level sits at 0.4407. Looking at the MACD, we've got a possible bearish cross, so keep an eye on that through the morning. That's supporting the early pullback. On the EMA, however, the 50 is holding its ground against the 100 and the 200, with the 100 pulling away from the 200, supporting further upside. So keep through the early part of the day, move back through the pivot at 0.4687 and back through to 0.48 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will come into play.